What's up, guys? Igor Hernandez here. I'm one of the attorneys at Cornish, Hernandez and Gonzalez, where I practice injury law and first-party homeowner property claims. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is Uber accidents, or rather, when you get into an accident or a crash that involves an Uber driver, what are your rights and what kind of coverages are at play? So the first thing is whether there will be substantial amount of coverage or not really depends on a couple of things. The first one being whether the Uber driver was actually either using the app to pick up a passenger, was driving a passenger, or was on the way to get a passenger. So basically, if the Uber driver is engaged in any of these three things, then a substantial amount of coverage will trigger. If the Uber driver is not engaged in any of these things, meaning the app is on but they're not doing anything, they're not on their way to pick somebody up, they're not picking somebody up, and they're not with a passenger that they're taking somewhere, then insurance coverage will be minimal at best. And so let's talk about when the insurance coverage will be substantial, what amount of insurance we're looking at. So there are a couple of types of insurances that you should know about, that you should be concerned with when you're dealing with Uber accidents, and really when you're dealing with any kind of car accidents at all in Florida. The first one being bodily injury liability insurance. That really protects the driver against the liability for causing an injury to somebody else. So why is that important? Well, if the Uber driver crashes into you while they have a passenger or picking up a passenger or on the way to get a passenger, the set of events we described, then there is $1 million of bodily injury coverage that's available to you, meaning if you're injured real bad, there's up to $1 million that will be available for you to recover against that Uber driver based on the insurance that Uber has for bodily injury liability. There's also property damage liability of $1 million, meaning if they crashed into you and they did a lot of damage to your car, then there's up to $1 million that you can recover in order to repair your car. And the other type of insurance you should be concerned with, it's what's called uninsured motorist insurance. And what that means is if you're a passenger in an Uber vehicle, in an Uber car, whatever, and somebody crashes into that car, and it's not the Uber driver's fault, meaning it's the fault of whoever crashed into the car that you were in, and that person does not have sufficient insurance, that's up to $250,000 that's available to you. So what does that mean? Let's say you're a passenger in an Uber, let's say you're going somewhere and somebody in Miami crashes into you. Well, that person has, I don't know, $10,000 of bodily injury coverage. That means that the maximum you could get from that person's insurance is $10,000, no matter how severe the injury is, no matter if you got injured real bad, no matter if you lost out on work, it doesn't matter. The most you could get out of the insurance is 10 grand. Well, in that case, the Uber insurance would kick in, the uninsured motorist insurance would kick in, and you have up to $250,000 that you can recover from the Uber uninsured motorist insurance, because that's one of the types of insurance that Uber has for drivers. So because you're a passenger in the car, it's called the Class 2 insured, but that doesn't really matter to you. What matters to you is that if you're a passenger in an Uber car, and you're going somewhere, that you have up to $250,000 of protection in case somebody crashes into that car and injures you real bad. So anyway, guys, that's it for now. I just want to talk to you about some Uber accident action in case you find yourself in that situation. You know more or less what's going on, and you can navigate that. I'll catch you guys again next time.